Fine.
Cool. Okay. So, recording, yeah, that's kicked in. Okay, so share my screen.
Thank you, Nick.
Let's go. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. I do have to remind me, and I think Jen Sheen, you reminded me last time, when I switched between mapping and my website. Anyway, so here we go. So tonight we're here for the Trek Surgery online Trek training plotting grid references. So what you can see on the screen now is the events page on my website. So this is where you will have all found this event and registered. I'm interested and then register. As you can see, we've got a few things going on. Got a Trek training session in Shropshire this weekend. Then our next online is Trek GB Grassroots Style. So this is Jackie Kedford, who's one of the Trek GB board members. Jackie is going to do a presentation, and it's primarily aimed at newcomers or people who are not members, but everyone is welcome. And this is also on the back of recently Trek GB did a demo at Your Horse Live, and we got fabulous, or Trek GB got fabulous feedback. So that's coming up on the 12th of December, that's next week. And then we have a break for Christmas and New Year, and we're back in the new year with an online Trek training Compass Basics. So we've done one Compass training already, so we'll have a new one, or depending what's in on demand. And I've got a really exciting one for you all on the 14th of January. A lovely lady called Tracy Cole, who's going to help you with your goal setting, embedding your goals and making things happen. And she is a wonderful lady, and again, that sounds great. So lots and lots of stuff going on there. So today's session in the training zone. So for those of you who are members of Your Horse is Your Mirror, the training zone is a free resource where you can access at any time. And you've got different sections, and I've got the online training dates here. So if ever you get stuck as to how to join, I've started putting the link in there on how to join the WebEx. So WebEx, that's work, different work, a webinar. So it also means that you can go in and look at some of the resources that we're going to be using. And if you want an OS map with grid numbers, you can send me an envelope and I can send that back to you. You've got a physical paper copy, which you can do at any time. So what we're going to start with tonight then is grid references. So I've got some extra notes here which I'm going to condense into a handout that I can put on the learning zone as well. So grid references in Trek, you're probably not really going to need grid references in Trek until you get to level 3, level 2A. So level 2A upwards, you may be presented with a part of the POR where you have to plot grid references and then ride those specific points. In the lower levels of level 1 and level 2, you're not going to get asked to do that. But there are benefits of knowing what grid references are, how to plot grid references. So the first and foremost is for safety. So if you are out riding, hacking, trail riding, regardless of Trek, then it's very useful to know where you are by your grid reference location. So that should you need to call the emergency services, you can give them a location where you are. Now, there is also a very popular app called What 3 Words, which I highly recommend that you download, which is actually, I think, I would say, a preferred app or a preferred resource for identifying where you are. What 3 words is basically 3 words that identifies a specific location. Now, I think that is worldwide. I don't think it's restricted to the UK, but I would have to double check on that. I'm going to make myself a note to add a link to Learning Zone and check that it's worldwide. So, what is a grid reference? So you can see here on the screen, we've got a map of the United Kingdom, and you can just about see the white bits underneath. And each section here is a square that's got a 2-letter character. So each area of the UK has got a 2-digit code that is specific to that area. So for myself here in Shropshire, I'm in the SJ area there. So any grid reference will be prefixed with an SJ. And the reason for that is that each of these squares will have a unique, will have a grid reference, and that can be, we'll talk about 4, 6 and 8-digit grid references. But each of these squares will have a set of grid references, but unless you prefix it with the letters here, then you wouldn't know which part of that 8, 4, 8 or 4, 6 or 8 grid reference location was. So now, if anything, if I'm going too fast or you've got a question, I want to repeat something, just for those of you on the video, you can wave your hand and I'll probably see you on the screen, or just shout out and say, think about, can you do that again? So here we've got some links to some wonderful free resources. So the Ordnance Survey website has got lots and lots of free resources. So within the Learning Zone, I'm not going to rewrite what Ordnance Survey have done because they are the experts, but what I do here is provide you with links to different resources. So the first one we're going to look at, so this first link here takes you to a beginner's guide to grid references. So this will take you through, so you can see the picture there which I have borrowed from Ordnance Survey. And then the next thing to know about grid references, so this what we've called eastings and northings. So the eastings go along from west to east. So as the numbers increase here from west to east, that is called your eastings. And the northings go up from south to north, so they're heading north. So northings head north, eastings head east. Now, you don't really need to remember that. The way I always remember it is along the corridor and up the stairs. So if you walk into a house, before you go up the stairs, you always, I would say, you really always go along the corridor and then up the stairs. And I have found that much easier to remember when I'm doing grids, so that I make sure I get along the corridor number and then up the stairs. So it's a really useful tip. So there you go, top tip on the survey. So if we are looking at this next diagram, we know that it's in the map that's prefixed with TL. So if we were looking for TL63, so we'd go along the stairs to 63, and the bottom, this square here, would be TL63, and the northing would be 30. So we go along the stairs. We're not actually going up anywhere because it's on 30. So if we went 63, 34, that would be somewhere in that square there. Now, like anything else in a training room, in a simulated environment, these can become quite difficult because you're not physically on the ground. It's always a lot easier if you've actually got a map of your area, your location, and then you can actually plot grid references and then write to them and become more meaningful. So it's always more difficult to do it this way. So, the next example. So, in this example here, I just wondered why they got TL63, because that's this blue square here is along the bottom to 62,
Yeah.
up the stairs to 33. So the
Yeah.
bottom left-hand corner, and that square there is that 4-digit grid reference. So that's a 4-digit 62, 33. And that's all there is to grid references. Now, all that gets more complicated is when you start going into 6-figure and 8-figure, because you start to break. If you imagine this square here with a subset of squares, you then go in a square within a square, and that's when it starts to get a little bit more confusing. So what I would do to start with is start looking at 4-digit grid references. I've got an exercise which I'll come to at the end of today, which has got an exercise with 8-digit grid references, so like level 3 standard.
So Julia,
do
those squares coincide with the kilometre squares on the map?
They do indeed. A really
Right.
good question. So let me share.
Okay.
Now then, has my screen gone blank, or can you see a map?
We don't see a map.
You don't see a map. Let's bear with me whilst I work out how to new share screen. It'd be probably easier just doing screen. Okay, so
Okay.
can you see a map? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So this grid reference here, where this red dot is I know that we're in SJ, which is actually North Wales. So SJ, we're on an easting of 60. So this line, blue line here, is 60.
Okay, yeah.
And that blue line going up is 30. So this square round here is SJ 60. 30, 60. Sorry. See, I've got it wrong already. Across to 30 and up to 60. Sorry, guys. Yeah. SJ 30.
I thought it was across the corridor and then up the stairs.
Yeah, so we're coming across till we stop at 60, which is this one here.
Yeah. So it's 60-30, isn't it?
No.
No, it's 30-60. Oh,
you see where it says?
I was right first time. God, how to confuse myself. Across, you're right, Amanda. Across there.
Yeah.
30. Yeah, as you said, along the corridor to 30. And then we're not actually we're on 60 here. Let me give you an example in the middle of the square. So if we go, let's look at this. If I add a waypoint there, so right in the middle of the square. So if I hover over there, can you see that?
Yeah.
SJ 30, ignore the last 2 digits because this is an 8-digit grid reference. SJ 30 and 60. Yeah. So you can see that within that square, anywhere I click within that square, do another one.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Everywhere within that square starts with SJ 30 and then SJ 60.
You can see the numbers going across the map as well.
Yeah,
you can see 28, 29, 30.
Yes, yeah.
So going across and going up, yeah.
Yeah, so if you watch this bit, good spot there, Jen. If you watch this bit here at the bottom, that white box, if I move it, everything within that square still starting SJ 30, number, 60, number. So you can see from an 8-digit, which is what you generally would get in I'll say generally because there are no hard and fast rules as to how many. I don't think there is, Jen, you can correct me if I'm wrong. What I
don't think so.
Maybe they tend to use 8-digit. So as we go along, if you watch that white box at the bottom, you can see the 30 increases, and as we get to halfway across, which would be 30, 50, so round about
Yeah.
where my mouse is now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
50, the second part of the first 4 digits,
Yeah.
it's 50 out of 100. That's halfway across.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if we go up this way, we can get to 60, 50. So that is going to be find in the middle of that grid reference.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So it's a really weird one, grid references. It's really simple, but it's so easy to get confused. Now,
Yes.
I got some giggling with it. So Mandy, your question, yes, these grid lines, so the blue lines, which are the grid lines, are 1 kilometre between. So from here across to here is 1 kilometre.
Yeah.
So we know that that distance across there is 1 kilometre. So we break that down into smaller squares and break that down into 10. Each of those squares will be
100 meters.
100 meters. So you can see how then that starts to work. Okay, so let me go back to, I've got a little video. Steve Backshaw, who works, has these great videos on Ordnance Survey. So I'm just going to play this little video, but you can come back to it anytime.
One really important feature of a map is being able to mark the spot exactly. For that, you need to know how to do a grid reference. Here's how to do a 4-figure grid reference. There are numbers on every OS map which run from left to right and from the bottom to the top along the sides of the map. The ones from left to right, that's west to east, are called eastings. Yet these were going along the corridor. The ones up the sides run south to north and are called northings. To get these, we're going up the stairs. So to mark a specific point on the map, I'll choose one at random. Here, how do I do it? You always start by looking at the numbers along the bottom, and you're looking for the number in the bottom left-hand corner of the square you want. You move from left to right along the corridor, so I am in box 24. I then go up the side, that's the stairs, and I'm in box 10. Put that together, and the point I want is at a 4-figure grid reference of 2410. So, as the old saying goes, it's along the corridor to grid square 24, and up the stairs to grid square 10. The 4-figure grid reference is 2410. One last extra. Each map has a special prefix which tells you which part of Britain you're in. So here I'm at SU 2410.
So there you go. I absolutely love, I think you've got an amazing voice to listen to. So you can find that link in the Learning Zone. It's a good refresher. So what have we got next? So on here, this is another link from the Learning Zone. How to read a grid reference. So we've got a different Ordnance Survey page. And
I just have a question.
yes, go ahead.
Would there always be the numbers?
So in
Is there some possibility that we have a map that doesn't have the grid numbers, or the, I don't know.
So I'm going to speak from a UK position because I don't know internationally. I'm not familiar with international maps. So in the UK, and again, Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the, I'm going to say you're the expert with TrekGB. You order lots of
Not.
put you on the spot. So in the UK, the master map Now, I think there's sometimes it will have the grid references on the master map. Now, there was a debate, I remember a while ago, saying that the grid references, the grid lines and grid numbers had to be on the master map, because some competitions you had to work out what the grid references were from giving the grid reference where you were. So, Zoe, I think it's Zoe, isn't it, who asked that question? I'm giving you a, and maybe it's a question that I need to take away categorically to find out. Let me write that down. So you're asking if the grid reference numbers
Are always indicated on the map.
are always, now is that a map in a competition?
Well, yes.
Yeah. Because the answer to on a map that you would buy in the UK and as an OS map, yes, they definitely would be. So
They should be on a competition map.
They should be. Okay.
Yeah, and but what has happened in the past when they've ordered copies of the maps, they haven't always come with the grid references on. So the organizer should check that the numbers are on, and you might actually have to write them on yourself.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
were on the master map, but not on the competitors map.
Oh, well, in that case, you will have to write them on yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I remember from participating in like a level 2A3 training, was that you, as part of your copying your map in the map room, you must or you should, or it's advisable to copy any grid reference numbers. You will probably need them, and it's probably a good habit, even if you're doing a level 1 or a level 2, to actually check the grid reference numbers. So like the example that Jen just gave us, if the maps come from the printers and the organisers have written the grid reference numbers on the master maps, but they may not have written them on the competitor map, and providing, I think the rule then is, Jen, that the organiser has to provide the grid references on the master map as a minimum.
Yes.
Yeah. Whew. Okay, so I think does that answer your question, Zoe?
Yes, thank you.
I'm not sure about the international. I can either ask Gina, or you could ask Gina, because I know you're in a track group, but I might just ask that question, because it is things are different in the FITA rules. Some of the FITA rules are different to GB or vice versa. Okay. So the next little video is taking a 6-figure grid reference. So this will explain the boxes within a box. So if I just click on that one.
So a 4-figure grid reference will get you to a 1 kilometre square. But if you want to be more precise, and after all that's a surprisingly big area, then you're going to need a 6-figure grid reference. This is how you do it. So let's say, for example, that we're going to try and find this church here on the B3079. First of all, we're going to go along the corridor and find our eastings. Well, that's 26. Then we're going to go up the stairs and find our northings. That's 16. If you look at these boxes carefully, you can see that they're divided up into 10 100-metre sections. 10 of those per box. So now I can find my church. I am here at 26, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about halfway through the box. And then I'm at 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm slightly further up than halfway in that box. Once again, break the square into 10 parts. First, go across the map, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then go up the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now add the prefix, which relates to a unique part of Great Britain. In this case, SU. So I'm at SU 26.5, 16.6. Your friend's out looking for you, and you can give that exact 100-metre square, then you've got a much better chance of finding each other. But it can have a very real significance. if, for example, someone was injured and you wanted to call for help and get rescued, being able to position like that is absolutely essential and save lives.
So I think that explains it really well. And if you take that to the next level with 8-figure grid reference, that takes you down to a 10-metre square, which is just amazing, isn't it? You can visualise a 10-metre square, you know, it's kind of within ease of visibility. Okay, so that's 6, 8. Okay, so the next one we are going on to is, so some tips now for training. So there's lots of apps out there which you can use on your phone. Now, it goes without saying that using an app for your location or for mapping or tracking is an absolute no-no and forbidden, and you will be disqualified and not very popular if you try to do that in a trek competition. However, I think they are fantastic tools for training. So OS have a subscription service that you can get download a mapping app, which again, Zoe, I'm sorry, it's kind of a UK thing. And they also, as part of that app, they have your OS Locate, which is what you can see on the screen here. So when you're out and about, if you wanted to check with your paper map and you've got your mobile phone, this will give you, and I think you can set it at 4, 6, or 8 digit grid references. So you can check and have lots of fun training. As I say, this one, the system that I use, I subscribe to Anquet, which the OS map service is exactly the same. I've just used Anquet for years, so I've stuck with them. So I can have this on my laptop, on my phone, on my tablet. So when I go out riding, I can track where I've been, or I can plot routes on here. And it is all round one of the best tools for training for trek. So that is a one that I would recommend. Again, I've put the link on the on the training zone. So the next,
Julia, can I just ask? You know that picture in front of us now, that phone?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the 11 degrees?
Okay, so that's actually got a compass on it. So that's saying that's 11 degrees. So you know, like if you look at your compass.
Oh, okay. So the easting and northing would be as if you had a map, a paper map. That would be telling you on the paper map.
Yeah.
So you are on the map, basically. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
But it's giving you a compass as well. I never recommend, I wouldn't recommend using a compass on a phone because they're not that accurate. I mean, they'll give you a rough idea if you're going north, south, east, or west kind of thing. But that's what that is. Okay, so the next one we've got, now I think I need to add this to the learning zone because this is a map. Dash for It is a fantastic website for buying maps. They are normally, whenever I've bought a map, they are much cheaper than the recommended retail price. So I always go to Dash for It if I want a paper map. And sometimes you just need a paper map. You know, if you're going out, go on holiday somewhere, I want a full map of that area. And this particular section here on grid references is, you know, again, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel because this tells you everything with pictures, examples. So that is again a link that I'm going to provide so you can go back to and refresh yourself. Now then, one of the really popular tools that trekkers use for grid reference, using plotting grid references, is what's called a Roma. And this is the one that I find that most trekkers use. It's got lots of things on here. The main one that is used is this square, this corner here. So we talked about the breakdown of the boxes within the boxes on the grid references. So what you can do is, if you've got to plot a grid reference, by using this tool, you can then put your little dot in that corner there, exactly where your grid reference would be. I'm not sure that they use these other bits and bobs here, but this bit here is definitely worth having. Now,
I'd probably need to see that being used to be able to understand the concept of it. I'm not very good at learning visually without an example. So when I come and stay, I'll you can show me that.
We will definitely cover that at Randy House, Amanda, and I will add a training note, maybe to get a video. We could maybe do a video YouTube if there isn't one. So I normally buy, because I think they're only about £6, but when you by the time you pay the postage, buying one. So I do normally buy a few in at the start of the tax season and then take them with me to camp. But if anybody does want one and just wants to pay a normal stamp, then drop me an email and we can sort that out.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Oh, where's my picture gone? There we are. So the next one is a fabulous little website, Grid Reference Finder. Again, it's on the Learning Zone. I love this one because you've got basically Google Maps here, and what you can do is you can put a postcode in here and search for a postcode, and then it will give you the grid reference. Or you can go onto Google Maps like I've done here, and I searched for, I know this is the venue for the Welsh Championships next year. So point B there is Brinshawn, and if I click on there, you can see that it gives me the full grid reference, the Eastings and Northings, the address, just a fabulous little tool. So that's also added to the Learning Zone. Okay, the next one we've got is another link, again to Ordnance Survey. They have a educational resources. It's actually for schools, but they break it down into nice, easy to learn topics. So if we look at understanding maps, so they've got map reading made easy peasy. So it is the real basics, and then we've got beginner to advanced. So there's all sorts of things in here.
I can only see you, Julia. I can't see what you're looking at. I haven't got your screen.
That's all right. Thank you for reminding me again. Where's it gone? Share screen. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So map symbols. There's the legend, so the map symbols that you'll get. So lots and lots of good stuff on there. Okay, so that takes us on now to exercises. So within the Learning Zone, we've got an area called Map Room Exercises. So this one here is a level 3 challenge. So it's a non-rideable route. So it is actually, I think it's at Randy House actually. Is it? Yes, it is. So within this exercise, we've got some grid references. So we've got quite some challenging exercises. So checking your grid references, working out speeds and distance. So again, that is freely available on the Learning Zone. If you need the map, as always, you just drop me a stamp to desk envelope. Unfortunately, technology has not worked out how to transport paper maps across the World Wide Web yet. And another, just giving you another example of in the Learning Zone under orienteering, calculating distances. So again, we touched on this with your question, Amanda, where each side of the grid lines box is 1 kilometre. So that then leads us into calculating distances. And that, yeah, we've done that one. That brings us to the end of this particular training session. So, are there any more questions anybody's thought of?
No, that's super. I haven't actually got round to doing any of the exercises yet, but I'm saving them for dark winter's nights.
Yeah. Well, they're always, I mean, the great thing is they're there whenever you fancy having a go.
Yeah, perfect.
When you're in the mood, whatever. And, you know, best thing is probably, if you haven't got the maps, get the maps from me so that you've got them when, you know, it's that cold, dark winter's day where you sit, oh, I'll do some map stuff today.
Yeah.
So I've shown you where the dates are so you can register for the next dates. I've explained about the membership. I think you're all members anyway. Zoe, I know you're gonna join.
Yeah.
And then we've got some training dates. Unfortunately, unless you live in Cheshire, Shropshire or North Wales, they're not going to be much good to you. But if you are, then we've got some dates in December and January, February.
Oh, I'm frozen.
And the other thing to add, so on Facebook, if you search for Ready Steady Trek, we've got a Facebook page and we've also got a Facebook group. Now, Ready Steady Trek is my group. However, it's to promote training across the UK. So it's open to trainers from, you know, north, south, east, west to advertise on there. So trainers, I know we've got Evie up in Yorkshire, so Evie can promote her training on there. We've got Liz down that's a little bit further south than me. Anybody who's a insured trainer can advertise on there. So this isn't all about me selling my stuff. It's about promoting training across the United Kingdom.
Can I just say, Julia, that these sessions have been fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I'm really enjoying it. It's starting to make a bit more sense.
Yeah, that's lovely.
I've enjoyed them too.
Yeah. And happy Christmas to you all. I'm off on a cruise on Friday to the Caribbean, so hopefully I won't get too lost. I might need my navigation skills.
I'm well jealous. That's lovely.
Have a lovely Christmas, all of you.
Yes, and you'll be nice and warm.
I will. Mind you, my pockets suffered because I've had to send my horse on full livery for 2 weeks, but there we are.
Wow.
It'll definitely be worth it. So thank you for that, Mandy.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank
All right.
you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.